Live. So this is GainzCast episode 1. Formerly known as the ADHD Hour, but we have a great name here. We have an existing channel, and this podcast is here to stay because it's gonna be interesting. Like, there's nowhere we won't go, nothing we won't talk about. And the good news is we needed a separate channel so our main channels don't get banned because of what we talk about.
That's the big thing. Like, I mean, like, that's why we pulled away. I had a bunch of people ask us why we pulled away from doing that. I'm like, because it's only a matter of time before they fucking stop us.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was.
No. I mean, Mexican beer can be something we use from now on.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to have somewhere, and the depth and breadth of where we'll go on this. We'll talk about societal issues. We'll talk about politics. We normally don't talk about. A lot of what we do is health based. Like, we are health based people, but fortunately for us and the rest of society, health ties into everything. For example, even the Mexican beer issue we have going on here.
Right.
The bottom line is obesity and health is what caused this issue. This issue would not be an issue if we didn't have an obesity epidemic where I'm guessing, what were we at, like 40? We're probably at 60% obesity now.
We got, I mean, the 2018 statistics from the CDC was like 42.5%.
Wow.
After just normal increase would have put us probably somewhere around in 2021, somewhere around 46.5. But so many people got so fucking fat in 2020. I mean, my wife Crystal and I, we just went to. I was telling you when we were up there, we went to Siesta Key Beach like a couple weeks before we came up and visited you, and just so many fucking obese people. Like, it was tragic. And like, of course, if you've been to Walmart, you know that like most of the country is obese.
Walmart's been above the obesity level for many, many decades now. I would like to say. And in respect to Walmart, they know how to eat. Like, and if you go by, like, they have good baked goods at Walmart. I'll give them that. They're tasty. Like, I had to get my kids something. I'm like, Thomas is a hard gainer, so I'm like, let's get the kids some donuts. Walmart,
God, he can eat
donuts. Yeah, that kid, man, he puts down probably 4,000 calories a day at 92 pounds.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But, societally, I mean, we're in a unique position as people where we're literally, we're running through town saying the British are coming. No, we're here saying the fat are dying. Unfat yourself, and nobody's listening. The government's going on and they're telling people that, no, it's okay to be fat. Fat is healthy. No, it fucking isn't.
No.
You have one cherry pick bullshit fucking correlative study. And then you're going to tell me that, oh no, you can be fat and healthy. You can't tell that to your fucking joints.
Shit.
Yeah. Even lean, the difference of me at 220 versus 240, even as a lean bodybuilder on my joints. Holy crap. Now imagine being 300 pounds of fat. Now muscle absorbs fucking, like, okay, so I've had two knee surgeries, really fucking big ones, right? But the reason my knee doesn't hurt is because my hamstring, my quadricep, and my calf are so strong that they kind of protect that joint. Imagine if you have very little muscle and you're just a fucking fat pillow. Your joints are literally being crushed every time you step off that fucking motorized scooter at Walmart. And they're crushing your joints. And you're telling me that, oh no, it's completely okay. It's completely okay to be fat. You can be fat and healthy. No, you can't.
No, you absolutely can't. And the other thing that people don't think about, like, most of the time, like for you, right? You're very healthy in how you eat and how your nutrition. You pay very close attention. No nutritional holes.
Yeah.
When people are obese that way, when you survive mostly on high fucking processed foods, sugars, and fucking flours and shit like that, it has almost no nutritional density to it. So they're very undernourished, and they don't get enough calcium. They don't get enough magnesium. Their joints and their bones are just fucking brittle. So you add that to massive amount of fucking pressure. It's fucking ridiculous. It's harder for like us, especially because I think we're around fit people all the time. Like, when I first started doing weight loss a couple of years ago, I was like, holy shit, this is a real problem. Like, and then like I started noticing once I got more into it, like, wow, we're fucking fucked,
Yeah, I think that's a societal issue, and that's why we're not going to shut up. We're not going to stop talking.
Yeah, fuck that.
We're going to bring it with things to help people. I've been, Alan does what he does from a public outreach standpoint. I've made all my content and books free because I'm really tired of people dying. It's really fucking making me mad. And they don't have to die. Now, some people are going to die. No matter what I do, some people every year are going to die of the flu, hand, foot, and mouth, fucking getting hit by a car, getting hit by lightning, sunstroke, which is way, well, not way. It's more deadly and more dangerous to most young people under 60 than the Mexican beer. So
Absolutely.
It's just that people are going to fucking die. And the people dying of the Mexican beer are the people who do the dying, like you say, Alan. Mm-hmm. And all our goal is we cannot prevent death. What we can do is make it a less likely event to happen. Like, I don't want you dying. You probably have kids, family. You're going to fucking die. Like, we're all going to die. I remember that Chris Rock song, No So Sex in the Champagne Room.
Right.
Okay, here's your horoscope. Sagittarius, you're going to die. Aries, you're going to die. And then I forgot which one. You're going to die twice. We're all going to fucking die, but we need to fucking live. And your quality of life is going to be absolute shit if you're fat. Period. The end.
Yeah, you're putting your books out for free. We are going to put out just available to everybody guide on how to manage your hunger and try to get down weight. I mean, it's reached the stage where when the Mexican beer flu thing fucking happened at the very beginning, we gave away like 30,000 programs, like home workout programs. It's people. That's the most tragic thing is how the cognitive dissonance of these people just like sitting there. They know it's because we're fat as fuck. Like, it's been publicized multiple times. 80% of all deaths have happened in countries where the obesity rate's high, all that shit. We know this shit. And people just still ignored it. It's still this, like, wear a mask. Like, I'm sorry, motherfuckers, but that's not, even if it did help, we still need to unfatten ourselves. We're still fat as fuck. I mean, it's still a huge problem.
It's an enormous problem. And
huge and enormous.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things where we just have to, as a society, we have to get together and and help each other. And helping each other doesn't mean yelling at someone for not wearing a mask. It doesn't mean yelling at someone for not getting an experimental
hangover cure.
Very nice. It means helping each other get healthy. And
Absolutely.
That's what we're all about. It's, look, man, if you want to wear a face covering, if you want to get, Mexican beer hangover cures, by all means, go ahead. But, at the end of the day, that's not the answer. That's putting a Band-Aid over a bullet hole.
Some people like some people might like a certain hangover cure, but there's other hangover cures. There's like hangover cures that are also like named ivermectin and shit like that. There's other cures, but like, it seems like we only want this one hangover cure.
It's the horse dewormer, man. The horse. By the way, I have a stockpile of horse dewormer in my house for my staple of horses.
Yes.
And, yep. Just in case I get some hangovers, I'm going to take it. But moving on from there, I think, so the Olympia, we just had a big Olympia party at my house, at Carbon Culture Gym, and nice pussy. And so we had a great event. And a lot of you might know this guy. His name's Nick Strength and Power. He's probably, I'd say, one of those, basically he's a guy who's a fan of the sport, who started his channel, actually a cool kid. I've talked to him a few times, who started his channel because he liked talking about bodybuilding. I'm sure he wanted to get YouTube rich. I mean, everybody does. And everybody goes, oh man, I just put my videos up because I really wanted to talk. Now shut the fuck up. You said everybody making money. You're like, I want some of that YouTube money. So anyway, so he put up videos with actual footage from the Olympia, which is owned by the Olympia. And the Olympia copyright struck his ass. Now, this is after the Arnold saying it's okay and actually sending him footage. The Olympia is like, nah, fuck this guy. Now, I can't, from a business standpoint, do I think it's kind of silly? Yeah, I kind of want that footage out there. But if people are looking up the Olympia and footage and people competing, dude, the Olympia wants that money. Nick putting it on his channel makes it where if people search for it, they want to see actual footage of Big Ramy versus Brandon versus Hottie versus Nick. They want to see it. The Olympia, by making people go to their, like, they paid the money for these fucking cameras, right? Like, they want that fucking YouTube money. So they're like, fuck it. If you want to watch this shit, you're going on our channel. I don't care if you're Nick Strength and Power. I don't care if you're fucking Kenny KO. I don't care if you're fucking, what's that dude's name? Nick Cannon from Dancing with the Star, whatever fuck stupid show that was. America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck who you are. They're not doing it. You really think that the fucking owner of the Olympia is up there like, yeah, I'm just fucking looking, and I'm like, yeah, let me fucking strike this guy down. No, they have a team of attorneys because these guys are rich as fuck. Like the dudes who bought the Olympia, there's rich, right? There's me, and then there's like Joe Rogan. They're in between. Like he's at like almost fuck you rich. He's beyond fuck you rich. Joe Rogan's like, I don't give a fuck rich. Right. This guy's at fuck yourself rich.
Yeah. And
you think you get, and Nick's like, says, I'll let you try because you have but Nick goes and posts, they made a big mistake. And I got some words to say about that. But what do you think, Alan?
It's not like it's fair use thing. This was a pay-per-view event.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's
pay-per-view.
It was a pay-per-view event. That's where it's fucked up. And you know what? I've met Nick too. Nick actually showed up at our one charity, the Sit Food for Six, to suck it up for 6 hours. He showed up at it in Cincinnati. Seems like a nice kid. And I don't got much to say about him except like, I mean, as the time went on, you can't harsh him for making his money. I like Nick, but he's so clear. He's like the CNN of bodybuilding reporting. Like he's obviously a paid promo for Redcon. And there's nothing wrong with that, but just present yourself that way. Don't present yourself as like you're a news channel. That's my only beef. But the fucking thought process that you're going to take somebody's pay-per-view content and minutes after they announce it, they put it on pay-per-view, you're going to reshare it was idiotic. Like I got a strike for when I still had members on my channel. I was going to do a live reaction to The Biggest Loser just with the members, like just for them only. There was like a fucking 100 people in there, right? And they struck me fucking hard, like in process, because I was an idiot and I was like, we'll just do a live reaction to a live TV show. That's stupid as fuck. I mean, I deserve to get struck because I was dumb fuck. But to think it's a pay-per-view event and you're not going to get some sort of, he's lucky that in fucking, it was multiple videos. So you and I both know how YouTube works. If they really wanted to fuck him, they could have taken the channel, you know? And
that would be his livelihood. And that would suck. I wouldn't want that. But listen, dude, listen. At the end of the day, there is no unbiased news. Everybody's fucking biased. I'm biased towards my own shit. And I'm the first one. I'll say it in the videos. Hey, guys, this is a review on a product. But by the way, fuck everybody but Marc Lobliner. You know, here's the problem. Nick started when he was poor. Like now the kid's driving around a vet, has a home gym worth more than most commercial gyms. Kid's done well, and I'm proud of him for that. But the reason he's done well is because everybody sells the fuck out, and that's okay. But let's be honest here. We had the biggest news story of the fucking decade. Basically, supplement company owners got indicted for fucking selling fucking illegal products federally. They're literally, their court cases in November, and not one peep from this news channel. And if I did that shit, if I got fucking raided by the fucking feds and they fucking indicted me and I was facing, I think it combined over 70 years in prison, including laundering charges, bro, that'd be on Nick's channel. That'd be on every channel because they're like, no, we don't usually cover legal shit. Shut the fuck up. You cover bodybuilding stuff. This is one of the largest supplement companies. I'm not going to say their name, but it's like, dude, you're obviously, and it just happens that the intro to all your videos are their fucking promo video. Yeah. Let's be real here. Okay. Oh, well, the Arnold wasn't even an expo. It was a dying show this year because Arnold went and told a bunch of conservative weightlifters to fuck their freedom. Yeah. The only one watching the Arnold was the fucking family members of the guys competing. Nobody fucking watched it. I didn't even know it was happening. And when somebody won, I'm like, I had no fucking idea. They're like, hey, the Arnold's this weekend. I'm like, no fucking way. And I'm literally in the industry. Like I'm there. Like I'm one of the guys. And even insiders I got at the IFBB, people I know, they're not too happy with Arnold either. So Arnold's going to give you whatever you want because they're dying because the guy, their namesake, literally told you to fuck America. And then a company went and did a video like, we're not going to the Arnold. I'm like, there's no expo. They weren't going to have an expo anyway. Like there's so many things that went on at the Arnold. I need 12 podcasts to go on. First of all, the fake boycott of an expo that doesn't exist. Second of all, fucking, of course, the Arnold, their namesake going on the live, like while they're posing and basically saying that Nick Walker is going to fucking die and talking shit about bodybuilding. and then making fun of physique guys' legs, which I thought was kind of funny. And it was like, dude, Arnold, you got to just like, I like at this point, I think he's just trolling us by not leaving. Like,
I think so too. Like at some point in time, do you think that they get so fucking like it's an elite thing? Like they get so detached from reality of where these people are at. Like I find Arnold kind of amazing because like fuck your freedom. Like motherfucker, as far as I know, you came from someplace that didn't have a whole fucking lot of freedom. And
his dad was a fucking Nazi.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God, I can't believe Arnold said that. Okay, during lockdowns, he was literally mocking us all, sitting in his jacuzzi with his fucking stupid fucking mini horses, smoking a cigar, telling us that we shouldn't work, mocking us. Like,
what is the point behind mini horses?
I don't fucking know. For midget, right?
Yeah, it's like it's almost cruel to even breed them, like because like they got a ton of health problems. Like
it's like genetic manipulation of shitty.
It is. Like, what is the fucking point? Oh, they look cute. They're miserable. Like, what the fuck? They're like, why am I not a full-size horse?
They're watching. It's like fucking Pinocchio. I want to be a little boy. I want to be.
I want to be a real boy.
Fucking little horse is watching a Clydesdale fucking galloping. He's like, fuck. I'm like a midget horse, and I can't do anything. It's all fucked up. Here's the deal. Let me talk about Arnold real quick. Number one is he's always been a piece of shit. Fucking fucked his housekeeper, had a kid, and didn't fucking like do anything with him, even though he's rich as fuck. He has other kids probably floating around like Arnold. And I've met Arnold, even like there's a story of like, even my fucking brother-in-law, Tom, like he met Arnold at Sony Studios. My father-in-law used to do the security at Sony Studios. And his experience with Arnold is this guy's a fucking pompous jerk. Like Arnold's just, look, man, and I respect him for who he is. I'll still watch his movies. He's brilliant in Expendables. I mean, he's brilliant in Terminator. He's an actor, but if I watched movies because I liked what these people stood for, I wouldn't watch any movies. But I like movies, so I can detach. Like, what's her face? Fucking Black Widow. Fuck, she's so hot. Redhead, whatever.
I know who you're talking about.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Give a fuck if she aborts babies herself. I'm like, this girl is amazing. She's a great actress, and her ass is ridiculous. I'm like, okay, I can get over your political views when I watch TV, but you guys got to realize, like, I worked at Weider for 5 years. Arnold was hated at Weider. Nobody liked him, and I never liked him. And you notice, if anybody's ever been in a trade show booth with me, Arnold does his rounds. I make sure I'm not at the booth, even if we're a major sponsor, because I just don't fucking like the guy, and that's okay. But these
you look at it how it's supposed to be looked at, though. Like, I don't understand how, like, there's so many people, because you talk about bodybuilding, I'll talk about friends, like Jennifer Aniston, who's also, hot, obviously, but like she talks about, like, I'd cut people out of my life that didn't wear a mask. Woman, nobody fucking asked you. Like, these people are famous for pretending to be other people. Like, that's why we like them. Like Jonah Hill right now, I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah, I do.
He's all pissed off that people are commenting on his body. Like, don't talk about my body, positive or negative. Like, motherfuckers, you just shut your fucking hole, play your self-deprecating characters, and we'll keep coming to see your movies. We don't need to hear, like, your opinion about how you want people to talk about you when you fucking come on TV is irrelevant. Like, I mean, what the fuck?
I post pictures of my body and people talk shit about it. They talk good about it. And that's just, when you're obviously I'm not a celebrity like Jonah Hill, but when you have any bit of a platform, even if you have 10 followers on Instagram, people are going to like you. People are going to hate you. You're going to get trolls. You're going to get lovers. You're going to get haters. And the bottom line is you just need to, understand that that's part of putting yourself out there, and you don't have to be out there. You don't have to have the internet. You don't have to be an actor. It's like they're the first ones to say, learn how to code. It's like, fuck yourself. Yeah. And yet I'm telling people to learn how to code so they don't have to fucking get a Mexican hangover cure because look, would you want to work at a place that doesn't give a fuck about your health and wants you to take something regardless of your medical history and what your doctor says? That's what these companies, Southwest, like American, like all these companies that are mandating the Mexican beer hangover cure, all these companies, they don't give a fuck about you, or else they would fight it. Because look, dude, I think I told you, and I told the story in that video today, man, I literally asked my doctor, because I'm not a fucking doctor. I say, hey, bro, should I get the Mexican hangover cure? And he's like, fuck no. He said, dude, you took steroids in the past. Your heart's going to be large. You're on TRT. You have thick blood. This thing can, in some populations, I'm seeing a lot of athletes get it. they can or cause a higher predisposition that happens to come right after the second shot, a higher predisposition of blood clots and heart issues like myocarditis and pericarditis. So if I'm already fucking have this weird ass fucking bodybuilder steroid heart, why the fuck would I bring in? And I know I beat Mexican beer in 4 hours and I thought it was just a really good leg day.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I take any risk for something that doesn't prevent the spread or prevent getting it? And also like it doesn't cut the viral load. Like what am I selfish? And what fucking clown world do we live in where that's selfish?
I have no idea. Like, to me, getting the Mexican beer hangover cure is actually selfish. Yes. Because if you're a young, healthy person and you get this, and because you don't want to risk the, I almost said it, because you don't want to risk the Mexican hangover, Mexican beer hangover. Like, if you get this because you don't want to risk it, one, you're an idiot because you obviously can still get the Mexican beer hangover, because they're even saying now that you should get it after you get the hangover cure. But yeah, beyond that, you're basically trying to protect yourself versus everybody else. I tell you what, I'll take one for the team, and I'll try to recover from my hangover naturally. You know what I mean? Like like if I can recover naturally from it, then I actually stop the spread because I have immunity, like actual immunity, not just protection. So to me, it means that they're fucking selfish. And I said that earlier on fucking Twitter, and people like the death threats were fucking flying in hot and heavy.
I don't get death threats. I have the quality filter on, so the death threats probably get filtered out. Probably. Why would you get it though? Like, it's 99.97 fucking something that you're gonna fucking be okay, dude. You're teaching a teenager to drive. The Mexican beer flu is way fucking down on the list of shit, Cammy almost killed all of us last week, man. She pulled out right in front of a fucking Dodge Ram. And I'm like, and I'm cool. I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? I'm hitting the dashboard. I'm losing my shit because I thought that was my last breath. Dude, that just came across you. Like, it's a lesson though, because like it impressed upon her like that was a serious event. Like, if it was just like, oh, don't worry about it, fucking no, that was a serious event, like. But that's my point. Like, there's so many other inherent risks in life. You want me to worry about a bad Mexican flu? I'm sorry, it's just not happening. Like, I from the very beginning, it wasn't happening. And these people that are trying to act like they're scared, I'm sorry, but Arnold probably should be scared. Arnold should probably take the Mexican beer hangover cure. Yeah. I mean, he's treated his body like shit, obviously, for a long fucking time. When he was bulking, it was way more about drinking beer and doing steroids and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, he actually admits that they used to get the calories in by drinking tons of beer and shit. Yeah. I mean, he's obviously partied his ass off and lived a fucking rock star life. Yeah. He should take the hangover cure. So, I have no problem. That's his risk, I'm about to make a lot of people mad because the metaphor I'm about to go in on this question is going to make people mad. From Greg Duvet. Is it Dovier or I'm guessing Duvet? What about people taking a hangover cure to keep their job? I'm going to say this quick and simple. You're the equivalent of the people who told the Nazis where Anne Frank was hiding. Mm-hmm. You're equivalent to it because you're caving into to tyranny. You can always get another job, but you can't get another bill of health. Not to mention that, but if everybody stuck together, the power is we the people. Like, I mean, but so when you're basically pulling yourself away from the power of the people when you fucking do that. I didn't mean to cut you off. Very selfish. And at the end of the day, man, I have a friend who did just that. Natural pro bodybuilder, getting up there in age, a couple years older than me. After the second installment of the Mexican beer, he has pericarditis. His life expectancy is greatly. It's directly. And this is a guy who would have probably beat it in less than 2 days. And if he had intervention like the horse dewormer, he would have probably got rid of it in 12 hours. Based on statistics, not based on me. I'm not a fucking doctor. You know that. I'm a fucking idiot. That's why I talked to my doctor. And my doctor told me don't fucking touch it. But if you don't want to get it and you get it because the government tells you to get it to keep your job, you get another job. I walked around. Everybody's hiring. It's an employee's market. You go up and let's say that Tim Pool did this the other day. You go up and say to Wendy's and be like, I would like a job. And they're like, cool, $15 an hour. Nah, I think 20 is better. They're like, no, can't afford it. You go next door. Hey, I want a job. 16 an hour, 20. I'll give you 18. Done. It is a employee's market. So if you're willing to provide for your family now, taking however many years potentially, if you're like me, I'm just saying this as me because I can't speak for your situation. For you now, for athletes, I think it's an absolutely horrible idea. Based on the data I've seen and based on these NBA players who are ending their seasons and careers due to blood clotting disorders, that I think this doesn't affect normal fat people as much it affects athletes. And I think that might be, this is just me thinking out loud. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm a fucking idiot. Because of the fact that athletes have larger hearts and we're healthy. So, unhealthy people, like, they usually do the dying anyway. So like, okay, your life is miserable and you don't have a great quality of life because you're not in shape. But those of us in shape have way more to lose than those who don't.
The thing is, pericarditis, like, myocarditis and pericarditis. Myocarditis is basically like a swelling and fluid built up around the heart, right? Pericarditis is chronic. Is that chronically? It's swelling of the heart valves and stuff like that. His life expectancy is very short. It's sad, like very short. And this is no shit. The problem is, he could catch a cold and that be the end of it now. Like, I mean, that's the thing.
I didn't know that.
Because like anything else, like that's why he can't train anymore. I bet you he told you he can't train, right? Yeah, because any type of oxidative stress could cause any type of stress to the body. It causes cytokines. It can cause inflammation, and it can cause more inflammation. It's fucking brutal. Like we're giving this to kids. Like there's that one kid. And I understand. People are going to say, well, this is just anecdotal evidence. Yeah, but there was no problem with anecdotal evidence when it was like, look, this one healthy person passed away of the Mexican beer flu last year. Like, so I have, like, my thing is, unless it's 100% safe, I don't understand how anybody can think you're going to shame me into fucking taking that shit.
Here's the thing, Alan. The CDC and the FDA are saying it's 100% safe and effective for everybody. They're literally saying this. Joe Biden, that piece of shit, is saying this. At the end of the day, they're lying. And nobody's calling them on it except for, the non-mainstream media, the Tim Pools, the Jack Posobiec's, the Cernovics. Like, if it wasn't for social media, we'd be so fucked right now, because social media is kind of how we're gathering and we're organizing this stuff. Like, we're talking about it right now. And you got Greg coming back in. Yep, I'm staying here till they kick me out and I'm looking for a new job. And honestly, once they kick you out, you sue them. You find a lawyer. There will be a lawyer. I guarantee this, taken on contingency. If you can't find one, I want you to contact Ron Coleman. He's the Jewish guy. He's Jewish as fuck. I want you to contact my friend Ron Coleman, and he will help navigate you on how to do it. But there's no reason why you shouldn't get damages and a lot of other things and keep suing. You find a good contingency attorney, man, you keep them in court for the rest of their lives. They might have big attorneys, but if they're firing you for a medical choice, that's going to long-term, you're going to win. I guarantee you that long-term, you're going to win. Somehow,
especially right now, because it's not actually a mandate; it's their choice. Because it's
literally a press release. It's not even a mandate; it's a press release.
Right.
I don't understand how these companies I do, because they're cowards and they're greedy. Because I own a company, and
it's the whole thing where everybody just tried to make sure that they were like, it's how everybody flew a BLM flag last year, and everybody flies rainbow flags. Most of these companies do not give a fuck about Black Lives Matter. They do not give a fuck about the rainbow flag. They're just trying to make sure that society doesn't fucking cancel them. That's all.
I had this conversation at the gym today with my training partner, Courtney, who's black.
Yes.
And
he is
not a white supremacist black man either.
No.
He's
friend. He actually, since he's friends with you, doesn't that make him a coon?
I'm not sure. I think that makes him a Nazi. But
oh shit. Because you're Jewish, and that's how 2020 works. So that makes him.
I'm a Jewish Nazi because I'm anti-vax. Shit, did I say it? Anti-tax. I don't like taxes.
Yeah, I don't like taxes either. Fuck that.
So anyway, I was saying, look, dude, we were just having a conversation, just kind of spitballing, and I'm like, look, man, when BLM first came out, I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like, we need to do something about police brutality. I was the first one to be like, hey, this is great. Let's not just talk about like cops being bad. Let's come up with a solution. Like, let's give them more training hours. Let's give them this. Let's get some more training. Let's get them some of that. Because I mean, cops don't train enough. They'll be the first. Good cops will tell you they don't train nearly enough. Good cops don't train on their own. All the cops who train at our gym, Carbon Culture, they all train on their own. They do their own, mental, physical training right there at the gym. There's another one. So they do their combat training. So I'm like, this is great. And then it came out, oh, by the way, we don't like the nuclear family. Like, hold on. Like, the nuclear family is like my entire thing. Like, that's literally my life. That's what I stand for. And then they come out with, we're trained Marxists. I'm like, okay, now you lost me. So by me saying that, me saying that I don't support BLM, I don't support, I support cops not beating the shit out of people. I think everybody can get on that boat. But I don't support BLM because, frankly, I don't support the end of the nuclear family, and I don't support Marxism. Has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It has to do with we are complete polar opposites in what we believe in. And that's why when I see a Black Lives Matter sign, I don't get like a little, I don't get one of those because I'm like, man, I really want cops to beat up black people. Yeah. I feel like that because I can't believe anybody can side with Marxism and the end of the nuclear family. But again, I understand if that's your opinion, if you like Marxism and the nuclear family, that's your right to do it. But it's my right to have a counter opinion. And just because I won't get down, I'm not getting down on my knee for anybody. You better be willing to kill me if you tell me to take a knee for anybody. I don't care if you're Jesus Christ himself. I'm not taking a knee.
What a horrible sight! Like members of Congress bowing down. Like what the fuck?
They're a bunch of fucking bitches. Dude, you saw what they did crawling under desks because a bunch of boomers who were unarmed were around the Capitol. These are our leaders, and they were scared of a bunch of 50-year-old fucking moonlighting boomers walking around waving little American flags who were the fucking insurrection. Shut the fuck up.
Let me tell you something. And this, I mean, I live in Florida. I don't even claim Pittsburgh anymore. I'm totally Florida man. I mean, Marc knows I walk around barefoot any chance I fucking get. Like, I mean, dude, I fucking was pulling snakes out of my fucking pool yesterday. Like, literally, like, I mean, multiple snakes were in my pool before I went swimming, Like, it's just Florida, what we do. Could you imagine like, people like these fucking boomers coming in on ex-Navy SEAL fucking DeSantis, like, coming, like, breaking in his office? They'd be full of fucking holes. You know what I mean? Like, it was, that, like, the thought process that, like, this is our leadership. Like, who elected these pussy ass motherfuckers? Like, it's pathetic.
Well, I mean, it's just a reaction. Like the other night, there was we had literally like we do the nasal rinse, so we put like glass can just explode out of nowhere based on temperature change. So the air conditioning vent was going on. All of a sudden, middle of the night, like we had a measuring cup like explode. And I didn't know what it was. My first reaction was to run out of the room, and I didn't even have my firearm on me, which now I should have. But I just ran out of my room. I'm ready to fight, right? Like, that is the reaction of a leader, of a man.
Right.
You're not. I didn't go fucking crawl into them. My wife was very hesitant to run out of the room.
Yeah. Well, there's a huge problem with that nowadays too, don't you think? Like, me and you talk about this fairly often. The fucking, like, you're a man though. Like, I mean, like, you're a masculine, toxically masculine man.
Yeah, I mean it. And that could work against me. I almost beat up an old guy in my driveway. So we have a bunch of, our neighborhood's still under construction.
Right.
And I was pulling in my driveway. My Yukon's fucking enormous. And my driveway is going up a fucking mountain. Right. So I go to pull in. So I swing out a little bit. And this fucking guy, I think he's a painter, tries to pull up to my left and zoom on by me. So right when I go to turn, I look and he's there and he honks at me. So I'm like, I look out I roll down one. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And instead of saying my bad, he's like, I thought you were pulling over. He starts yelling at me and going off at me. So I'm like, really? So I step out the car, put my car in park, car's in the middle of the road, step out the car. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? You do not speed through my fucking neighborhood. You understand? He starts mouthing back. And then he finally saw, and he before he saw what I look like, he goes, what are you going to do about it? So I walk out. And I go, I'm going to fucking beat your ass. And my wife saw the whole thing. And so he's like, I'm going to get you arrested. I'm like, fucking call the cops right now. I know all of them. And so they eat outright bars. So I basically calmed down. My wife's like, go follow him, get his fucking license plate. So I followed him. He was walking into a house, which by the way is our builder, who we spent 7+ figures with. And I'm like, you ain't never working on one of these again. He got his license plate, got his business name. I'm like, but toxic masculinity can work against you because I could have probably been a little more calm and cool, but you speed through my neighborhood, my kids play in those streets.
Yeah, and so you know what? You probably could have been a little nicer, but I think the time for that's over. I think there's plenty of that. You know, I mean,
everybody. But the thing is, it's okay. Now that's an isolated incident, but so here's the thing: like, I'm done being nice because, like, all this time, if I'm not wearing a mask in like Nashville, where's your mask? Where's your mask? Where's your mask? Now, if I see someone in a mask, I just make fun of them. I just point and laugh. Or if they have a child in a mask, I'll look at them and go, that poor child. And I think it's come a time when, dude, we can't play nice. We can't be, think about conservatives or people like us. I'm an independent. We just want to be left alone, want to live and let live. They want you to adopt 100% of their views, or you're a Nazi and you're a racist. And I'm fucking done. And I'm just owning it. That's why I've owned the whole I'm anti-corona, I'm anti-Mexican beer hangover cure. And I'm owning it because what can they say if you just own it?
And that's the biggest thing. And we've gotten there a while back about like the fat phobic thing. Like, okay, I believe that being fat is very bad. You're right. How about this? I've been morbidly obese. When you and I met, I was morbidly obese. I'm terrified of that motherfucker. I'm terrified of ever being that dude again. Terrified. You know why? Because that dude was going to die. Yeah. You know, that dude was going to die.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong. It's a healthy fear of death to not be fat. You know,
I saw my father die of complications from type 2 diabetes. You don't have to tell me about the fucking downfalls of obesity.
Right. I think it's perfectly logical to be terrified of the fucking Mexican beer flu hangover cure because they don't know shit about it. I'm sorry. That's the thing. You fuckers need to realize you are the fucking experiment. I'll stay in the control group. Because you guys are the fucking experiment. If you can't tell they're making shit up, they're literally doing a fucking fertility study now. They're starting that motherfucker now. Like, I mean, you guys are the fucking. For all we know, we could just be preparing for the zombie apocalypse, and you motherfuckers are the zombies. You're just waiting to happen. Like, I mean, like that's for all we know. Like the 1.5 year mark can hit. And the next thing you know, you motherfuckers die in your sleep and fucking get reanimated. Like this could be the fucking T virus or whatever the fuck it was called. You know, like it absolutely could.
Yeah, it's really crazy because remember that text I sent you, that the DM. So they're testing out, and I don't know anything about this. So they're testing out a pill vaccine. That's not a shot; it's a pill. And the healthy young woman took it, and I can't share it because I said I wouldn't, but I could talk about it, and she died. Left behind 2 school-age children. Jesus. And I sent it to Alan. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I sent it to Courtney. He's like, what the fuck is going on? Look, dude, and I think for 99.9%, I might be over, I might be under, you know, the beer cure hangover, whatever it is. I think it's probably okay, but I think athletes need to really weigh. It's not about if it's safe or not. Is it an unnecessary risk? Because I might get it and I might be just fine and live till I'm 190 years old, or I could die at 41. You know, and right now my chances of dying at 41 are pretty low, and I've already gotten the beer. So why am I? Why? Like the answer is, why do you want me to get it so bad? I don't get it. Is it because you feel bad about being bamboozled into getting it, and then you found out it doesn't work, so you want me to suffer?
That's what it is. That's what it is, I think. Nobody wants to go back and say, okay, we were wrong about this shit. So it went from, and this is no shit, if you take the Mexican beer hangover cure, you get all your life back. That's all we need to do. Okay, no, wait, now we get all your life back, but you're still going to wear a mask. Okay, now, you know what? Everybody's got to take it for you to get your life back. Like, how the fuck does that even work? But my point by it is, what is the justification to not do normal testing? Like, it is not, I'm sorry, folks, but it has killed, and I know they're like, oh my God, 700,000 people have died. You're so heartless. 700,000 people have died in 2 years. Okay? You know what's killed more people? Obesity. You motherfuckers have had no problem, and just obesity, not obesity comorbidities it's related to.
Which you can even attest to the beer deaths.
Yeah, right.
So 78% obesity.
Right. So what justification do we have to be human test subjects on a population level basis? They're not even saying, hey, the state of whatever is going to do it. Like, I mean, although very clearly Israel is an experiment at this stage.
It's nice to know they're experimenting on Jews again. Mengele is fucking happy. He's smiling from fucking hell. You know, I'm like, I talked to that's one thing that Dave Rabois said to me. We were hanging out in Florida. Is he's like, I'm afraid because 98% of the Israeli population has this beer cure, and it's scary because, you know, just I haven't told you this, Alan, but I remember I was kind of searching. Like I found God. And I was searching for religion, and I finally found one that I'm diving into. And the good news is, it really takes no transition. So I'm actually gonna just stay Jewish, because I mean, it's for me. I look, man, and I know this is totally ADD, but it's a good time to bring it up. Is that I love the concept of Jesus, right? But it could be my confirmation bias and the stuff I learned when I was a kid and the Jewish teachings. I can't buy into the Jesus thing. The New Testament is the Old Testament. I'm like, yep, with it. The New Testament, I'm like, not my thing. So I'm just going to stay with God. Like, I know I'm going to piss off a lot of Christians. How dare you not accept Jesus Christ? Look, dude, I accepted his dad. We're good to go. So I've decided, and it's a heritage thing. And it actually came when I was concepting the video I launched this morning that I sent to you about why my doctor told me not to take the beer cure. And, I was thinking of all my people have gone through, and I actually stood up, kept Katie up last night, just talking about like our heritage and history. And it kind of had me where I'm like, okay, I can roll with this. So is it more heritage or just or is it more religion or just being proud of my heritage? I think we all should be proud of our heritage. That's why critical race theory pissed me off so much. I'm not apologizing for shit my ancestors did. They did what they fucking had to do. Look, dude, I got some amazing, people on my side. Now, my father's side is German, part German, but it's from the Polish corridor, so they didn't do any of that Nazi shit. But like, dude, my great-grandfather was a horse thief. Like on my dad's side, like we don't talk about them. They didn't do anything cool. My mom's side, we have my grandfather was a pro boxer who escaped Auschwitz. Like that's some dope shit. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep my faith. And honestly, it's just good to have. And even if it's bullshit, which it might be, right? That's why I was agnostic for 40 years. Even if it's bullshit, it's good to have faith that when all of this ends, that when it's over, that you have a thought or an optimistic point of view of where you're going to go. And just ceasing to exist is kind of scary.
See, that's the thing. Like, I mean, because I classify myself as an atheist and have for a long time. I was born Catholic, and raised Catholic.
Catholicism will scare anyone away from religion. I've been to a Catholic wedding. I came out fearful. Everything was like, well, if you don't do this and you don't atone, like you're going to hell. I'm like, oh my God, you're just getting married.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, dude. The actually reading of the Bible cover to cover is what made me atheist. Like, I'm not shitting you. That's what I was like. Fuck that shit. Holy shit. I mean, the Old Testament is just fucking savage. But I can honestly say, like, I can honestly say, like, I'm probably more classified as agnostic, because here's the thing: I don't have faith, but I do have hope. Like, I mean, dude, you've met me, you've seen me and my wife together. Like, I love that woman. Like, you're the most virtuous, holy man I've ever met, and you're a fucking atheist. I'm gonna be real. Like, no, okay, let's keep in mind, you're in a monogamous marriage. You're extremely like you and I are overly simping for our wives. It's almost it's almost embarrassing. My wife, my name, the MFing COO, is because my wife is the CEO of all of our other companies. Like, she's my boss.
Oh my God. You know, at the end of the day, like, and you care about people, you give back. You're the first one to give to charity. You're more religious than anyone I've ever met who has a religion. That's the fucking weird.
Thank you, man.
No, I mean, the thing is, what I'm saying is, like, so you're telling me, and this is what this is my issue with religious people. Okay, so you have a guy on his deathbed who raped 14 women and fucking killed 12 dudes. And he goes, oh, I accept Jesus. Boom, you're going to heaven. You, who lives a virtuous life, is monogamous, and gives tons of time and money to charity. God's gonna be like, fuck you, you're going to hell. Shut the fuck up. Like,
I've told a very similar story to that. That's like my idea of heaven is this, right? So my idea of heaven is like, I'm there. I'm on a cruise ship listening to my favorite band, basically. Bucket of beer that I can drink and still go lift heavy weight and run miles. Like, I mean, like, my favorite beer. I got a whiskey. My wife's in her fucking most banging ass bikini sitting on my lap. We're fucking cuddling up and like that. Like, so that's like, everybody has their own idea of heaven. And if you don't like that idea of heaven, fuck you. That's my idea of heaven. But sitting across the table for me can be like Dahmer, because if he repented before he died, which I don't think he did, but sitting across from me could be like a serial killer that killed a bunch of children. So therefore, like, my idea of heaven cannot coexist with having those people in it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's where I still have a problem. Like, don't get me wrong, dude. There's not enough time for me and my wife. Like, I mean, and like, there's just not, like, the love I feel for her goes beyond the physical realm. There's not enough time, but I just can't get to, like, they get to go to heaven too. Like, and I can't do it, because like, I deeply feel for people. And I know for many people that watch my other content, shit like that, that's hard to understand. But like, when you see me try to like shake people awake, it's because like, it's death, people. Like, and in my mind, so I've gotten to the point now where I'm just going to try to be the best man and help as many people as possible and be the best husband and best father I can, because if this is all I got, I need to make the best of it. You know what I mean? And to me, that's being the best of it. A lot of people take that as an opportunity, and a lot of, especially Catholics and Christians, you motherfuckers out there, when you feel you have eternity with your wife, they feel they have eternity. So it's like, wow, I got eternity with them. Like, I think this is finite. I've told my wife, like, I hope I don't live, if she passes before me, I hope I live 1 second after her. That's it. Because
I couldn't like, if my one thing in life, the reason I'm cool dying tomorrow is I couldn't die after my kids or my wife. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, just fucking strike me dead. That's when I'd be like, fuck this. I can't imagine that pain. And that's why you see these people losing their kids and everybody. And that's why we're so focused on what we do. We don't want you guys to miss out on the time you have with your kids and your loved ones and your family and your everything. And I think that's something that we just have, like, we have that care for people. And a lot of people just see that, okay, we're very aggressive, we're very loud, but look, man, the old way didn't work. No. Like, it just didn't work. And I think we need people, look, man, Jillian, whatever you say about Jillian over at Biggest Loser, man, she gets results. Sure, she does it in a stupid fucking way.
Yeah.
She probably hurts more people than she helps. But you know what? When you're there yelling at someone, they're gonna listen a lot of the time.
That's the problem, though. Like, I mean, because it's just, the pendulum has swung way too far. Like, I mean, now we're bastardizing science by saying, like, maybe don't exercise too much because of oxidative stress. But you know what? Fuck you. What the fuck's wrong? And you and I both know, like, actual real workouts, like, are for people like us. Like, I mean, like I can fucking go. You know what I mean? Like I can fucking go. And you're like massively intense in the gym. I'm sorry. I remember, anyway, I remember while watching your workout, something funny popped in my head. But, you know what it is too. It's fucking crazy. But like, what we do is not meant for the average fat fuck. Like, you guys just need to get off your asses. Like, get the fuck up.
10,000 steps, dude. Everybody makes fun of. I remember there was an article. I don't remember. I'm not going to cite it, but it's like, is 10,000 steps a day right? I don't know. Are you fucking moving for 10,000 steps? Yes, it's fucking right. 2,000 steps is right. 20,000, whatever you can fucking do, just fucking move. I mean, Christ. I mean, I went on a vacation. Okay, I went on a working vacation. My wife and I still worked 8 hours a day because we have to, right? And I literally raised my calories up to like 6,000 calories, right? Crazy amount of food. But we were so active, going to the amusement park, going all this. Like, I lost 5 pounds. Like, my coach Jose was like, "What the fuck?" It's because we're so active,
right?
And that's the thing. People they go to work, they sit in a cubicle, they go home, they sit on their ass. How can you? I tweeted this the other day. Like, people look at me like, "How can you train every day?" I look at them like, "How can you fucking not?"
How can you not? You know, how can you not get some movement in? I know it sounds crazy, but me and my wife talk about this all the time. What if the power shut off? Like these people eat in a way, like, they don't know where their food comes from. They don't know how to cook their own food. Most people don't know how to fucking cook. I mean, how can you not know how to put something in a pan and turn on the fucking, like, burner? Like, I know people that don't own pots and pans. Like, I get clients who are like, what? Like, I was like, so you're going to start cooking your own food? And they're like, well, I need to go buy pots and pans. Like, are you fucking kidding? How the fuck were you functioning? You know, I mean,
I've never been in an Airbnb without pots and pans. I was just there this week, dude. We had the greatest nonstick work at that. Dude, this cabin was amazing, Alan. Like it was so gorgeous. But so I want to kind of circle back because this is something I really want to I want to say this because it's been just eating at me. Man, do I love Kyrie Irving. The guy's given up $17 million. He's still making 17. Like when you're that fucking rich, like $17 million for him is like you and I dropping $10 on the fucking street. Like, let's be real. But like, dude, this guy is just sticking to his morals, his principles. And this again, now, here's the problem. Is anybody not seeing 28% of black people are vaccinated? Right. New York is heavily populated by black people. They're not letting people without the vaccine. I can say vaccine. I can't say the C word. They're not letting people with that into restaurants and establishments. So my question is, when is this classified as segregation against black people?
It should already be like, it's obviously medical segregation. Like anybody, that's my thing. If you can't get there, that it's already medical segregation based off of complete bullshit. Like
but medical segregation against the population that it's mainly segregating against are those who were literally medical experiments throughout the history of the United States, from Tuskegee to the prison experiments they did on, was it chlamydia? So basically
it was syphilis.
So syphilis was Tuskegee, but I believe there was another one in the prison system, which that prison's population was heavily, I believe, 80+% black. So obviously, if you're black, like I'd be like, and Jewish people, like literally, we were the victims of so much experimentation and during World War II. Like if anybody, Jews and blacks, not only do we really like jewelry and Cadillacs, but Jews and blacks would be like, man, I'm going to get canceled for that. But I'm Jewish. It's okay. And look, no black person is going to deny that they don't like Cadillacs and jewelry. I'm sorry. That is.
I like Cadillacs and jewelry. What the fuck?
Hey, man, if that's the case, then I'm blacker than black. Okay. I'm basically the black.
When did we become such a sensitive society that people like, it's like because our skin color, we can't talk about shit. Fuck that shit.
When race
cancel me all you want, bitches.
When race became a weapon. But at the end of the day, blacks and Jews have been the victims of medical experimentation since well into the 18 and 1900s. And for them to think a black person, after hearing the stories from their grandmothers and their moms and their great grandfathers, and keep in mind, we're only like 2 people ago did we have slavery. And in the 1940s, we had internment camps where we threw all yellow people in camps. Literally, there's people alive who were in internment camps.
There's Italian Americans who were thrown in internment camps too, though.
Now, I'm not going to argue against that. I think that was a good idea.
Fuck you.
My wife's Italian. Dude, Jesse Kelly goes on about Italian. But look, it's okay to make fun of Italians. But if it wasn't for Italians, we wouldn't have as good a food. So I'm good with it. I love Italians. And but at the end of the day, let's think about it.
People. We are horrible people. We are.
Well, man, my wife's okay. I mean, she's great. But at the end of the day, I think that this is affecting a lot of people the worst, and it's going to be the lower income and the people in bad neighborhoods, which happen to be a population that is like, look at these Mexican beer cure mandates in New York and Chicago. Like, who lives in those neighborhoods? Not me. I live in the great state of Tennessee. We ain't got that. It's affecting minority populations, and it's sick.
So the thought process of what are you going to do now? You're gonna not let them eat.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, that's literally what I don't know where we got there when it was only a year ago that Black Lives Matter was damn near taking over the fucking country. God bless. Like, where the fuck are they now, by the way? Like, where the fuck are you, motherfuckers?
They're, at the end of the day, all their donations went to Act Blue.
Yeah, and now they have to march alongside with Trump people. Did you see that shit?
Well, those are the defectors, but you notice the leader of BLM in LA bought a mansion in Beverly Hills. Yeah. It was all a money grift. That's all it was. But the problem is, you have legit people, and I know these people. I'm friends with these people, and you know who these people are too because you've met them. Mm-hmm. These are some decent, awesome people who simply want equal treatment. And look, I always say, dude, I don't know. I've never been a black guy.
No.
I only know what I've seen. I don't know, like all this shit that they're saying. I'm like, that can't be happening, is it? I don't know. I've lived in everywhere from Inglewood, California, which I was the only white guy on my block. And I've lived in, Brentwood, Tennessee, where it's the third richest community in it's the first richest community in Tennessee. I believe the third richest in the nation, or some fucking high. So I've lived in all
the houses are amazing.
Oh, it's a beautiful area. I love it. Yeah. But I've lived in the hood and I've lived in the not hood, and I've gone to college. I've never experienced racism other than against me. On the internet, I'm a fucking Jew, a pocket liner. I've had a fucking anthrax threat sent to my house, had hazmat sent to my house.
I've seen it. I've seen it. Like I'm about 10 years older than you, but when I was in high school, even in Pittsburgh, it was still pretty pronounced.
Yeah.
Like my friends couldn't get served in certain restaurants and shit like that, and then I wasn't allowed to come back to them because I was friends with them.
The thing is, I don't think there's two people who are more anti-racist.
Oh,
I say that because it's the only word that makes sense than you and I, because I will die on that hill. And I don't like any racism, whether it's against white people or Mexican people or black people or Asian people. Like, we're all, if you looked under our unless you were a trained fucking like PhD level scientist, you can't tell our DNA apart. Like, we are the fucking same. The difference is pigment, and pigment is based on, if you're biblical, basically you had Ham go to Africa, right? Like, of the three brothers, and the descendants of Ham have darker skin. And why is that? Because it's hot as fuck in Africa. Same reason why Sephardic Jews are brown and Ashkenazi Jews like me are pale as fuck. We went to fucking Europe. Ashkenazi Jews are in Europe. It's cloudy all the fucking time. Right. We don't need pigment. But if you're in fucking Africa, or as for Sephardic Jews, the Middle East, which is a fucking desert, yeah, you need pigment. So we're all this bullshit over fucking pigment. I never understood it. So when you talk about racism, I don't fucking get it, because I can't empathize with why anyone would be racist. I don't fucking understand it.
It's very strange, like, because I'm obviously, I get really, really, really dark when I'm out in the sun for a while. Like, I haven't been out in the sun barely at all, and I'm still very tan. Like, I get really, really, really dark. It's weird that people put so much emphasis on it. Societally, there's issues. Like, America has not done right by minorities, period. I mean, obviously, throughout our history. However, holding people, like, the weird thing is I, in my lifetime, have seen that become such a more accepted good thing. You know what I mean? Like, it is, we have made so much progress, and 2020 slammed the door back on it. Like, when people started citing ridiculous shit like, 52% of all violent crimes committed by black people. That's absolutely very true. So when you have more black people having interactions with the police in a violent manner, there's going to be, like, it's amazing that it doesn't happen more often where black people are killed by the police, if you ask me. However, the actual problem is, why the fuck does that happen? Let's take a look at their neighborhoods. Like, let's make sure that they have more police presence so that, like, people can get to school. Let's make sure that, like, the way the schooling system has been set up, which is a whole other fucking issue right now. Holy fuck, dude. Like, so rich people have more property tax, so therefore their schools are better. But poor people have less property tax, so therefore their schools are shit. Does not help poor people not become poor people again. It does not help generations forward. It's moronic, you know?
I just don't. And honestly, it goes back to toxic masculinity. The problem is, in the 1960s, which was a racist era, that was when Martin Luther King, and that was when they were spraying black people in Chicago with fire hoses. 77% of black households had both parents in the house. Mm-hmm. This now, present day, we're at barely 20%. So it can all be, you can correlate, and I hate correlation, but this is a pretty fucking strong one. Mm-hmm. It all comes down to these kids have no strong male influence in their life. And that's why I decided to go back to coaching high school. Mm-hmm. Sure, I'm coaching a bunch of, people in Brentwood, but I can't drive to the inner city. You know what I mean? No. Like, you can take care of your own community. And I tried to get involved in Chicago, but I couldn't. There were time constraints, because Chicago, to get to the city, the South Side, which I tried to do, I tried to link up with Big Brothers, and it was an hour and a half each way in traffic. Yeah, brutal. And I couldn't I would have to take away from my kids to do that. So I couldn't do it, but we need men to be men again. I mean, it comes down to men. in all communities, and I think even I've seen a lot of households with fathers in them, might as well not have one because these men are just spineless pussies. And that's what it comes down to. Like, think about it. Like, dude, back in the day, we would stand up for shit, right? Now it's like, oh, my job said I have to get this COVID. Fuck, I have to get this Mexican beer thing. And they just go ahead. Oh, I got to do it. Back in the day, I think men would be like, no.
Fuck you. Yeah. Well, when you take a look at the testosterone levels.
Yeah. What example does this show your kids when you're such a spineless pussy?
Well, the average testosterone level of a 21-year-old male right now is that of a 67-year-old male, like fucking 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like they eat, they're emasculated by society. They're emasculated by the way they actually fucking function. And I'm sorry, but like, there's something to be said where, like, I say this all the time, like out of the two genders, and there are two genders, people, fucking get over it. You know, women are probably stronger. They give birth. They make babies. What the fuck? Our job, we're like, in my mind, we are like the disposable drones. Like we are built like look at how you and I are structured. You know, like a lot of younger men don't have shoulders like us or anything like that anymore. But like, look how we're structured. I'm structured to be able to take a beating and deliver one. That's literally what I'm structured to do. I'm structured to protect my wife and my kid. You know, and that is like besides my sperm, that's my contribution. You know, like,
couldn't be more correct. You couldn't be more correct.
And we have gotten past that where it's like now it's like everybody's supposed to just be super dainty nice. Like all these people online, all like, and the people that listen to this and everything like that afterwards, that are going to be very upset at me just even saying that there are two genders and everything like that. I have no problem. You want to call yourself, you want me to call you a her. If you look like a her, I'll call you a her. If you make me guess, I'm going to call you by what I'm going to guess. And I'm not going to feel bad. However, when people try to make me feel bad for being a toxically masculine male, you're not going to be able to do that because I think that society has just gotten to the point where men are so fucking weak. Like, if you would never say that actually to my face, and people are like, oh, are you threatening violence to people? No, I'm telling you that I probably slapped the fuck out of you. Like, that's not a threat. That's just how I grew up. You know, like I grew up when two guys would get into a fight. Like if me and you fucking started scrapping, like a circle would form around us, pretty much of everybody watching. When somebody got knocked down, the other person would be like, stop. And then fucking like the lessons were learned. Normally, like the winner would buy the loser a beer and they talk their shit through, you know, and that's how shit was fucking settled. Nowadays, these people want to call the fucking law, you know, okay, but I'm still going to beat if now you're going to make it so if I think I'm going to get in legal trouble, I'm going to make that shit worth it. You know?
I just look, man, I mean, men need to be men, and that doesn't mean we need to be violent. I think violence is the last resort. I've been in fights since 16 years old, but if someone you got to be able to defend your family. I watch all these situations where women and children are being attacked and men are just watching, or they're just, you gotta be willing to protect your family. You got to have that ability. That's why my kids all, including my daughter, all do a combat sport. They all lift. They're strong. They're all healthy. They're all mentally strong. And that's
Kimmy could beat up most adult males, just for real. Like
my daughter's a bit different than most. But the thing is, she's so feminine and just girl. You know, like she does girl stuff. Like she likes makeup, and we spend a ton of cash on this fucking bullshit girl like makeup and whatever, body wash and body spray. But, you know, at the end of the day, she'll fucking wrestle you to the ground. She'll box you, and then she'll fucking lift you and throw you. I mean, I always said when I have a daughter, I don't want to have to worry when she goes out that she can't defend herself. And the next step is taking her shooting because, you know, in Tennessee, we have constitutional carry. So
fucking beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful state, beautiful thing. I think back to Kyrie Irving. I think everybody needs to be Kyrie Irving right now. Whether you like him or not, I love his shoes. I have about 10 pairs of them. Kyrie, whatever he does in life, I will support that man. And
absolutely.
I don't see him caving either. That guy's dug his fucking shoes into the ground. He's ride or dying with this. And God,
what's up with the rest of the NBA not supporting him? Because last year at this time, a lot of these motherfuckers were wearing the name of a rapist on their fucking uniforms.
Yeah.
Supporting him for show. They supported this Jacob Blake bitch showing up at his accuser's house, resisting arrest with his kids in his fucking car, and then luckily make it out alive. Dude should be dead. And they were wearing his fucking name on their fucking uniform for that. But this guy is standing up for rights for all of them. And they're fucking like, a lot of people are like, oh, well, he's going to do what he's going to do.
They're horrible people, man. They're part ignorant, part just out for the money, you know, and that's a shame because I told you what happens if we have a choice, a chance to do business with a company that mandates what they're about to mandate. And I'm going to stand to that. And I don't care because at the end of the day, man, it's my principle and my legacy. When I die, and it's going to happen. And I tell my kids this all the time, I'm going to die. I'm going to fucking die. And nobody's going to remember how much money I made or how many outright bars I sold or whether I closed this account or that account. They're going to remember what I stood for. They're going to remember me for the legacy I left behind based on my morals, my ethics, and my actions. And by selling out for money, dude, my kids, if I raise them correctly, they'll be rich on their own. They don't need my help, dude. But my kids will be like, you know what? My father stood up and said, this is wrong. Yeah. And that's something that, and you know what? 50% of America will hate me for it. 50% will love me for it. But you know what? I don't even give a fuck. What matters is what's in here. What matters is what's in my heart. And I can't look myself in the mirror knowing that I sold out not just myself and my family, but everybody who loves freedom and everybody who died for this country. And my mom and my grandfather who literally came over here on a boat for a better life for their future. And that's why I will never, ever cave to these mandates. And that's why, you know what? It used to be that I'm not getting the Mexican beer thing because of just health. Now it's because fuck you. Yeah. Now it's because of health and because of fuck you. Because anybody who can read realizes that it benefits nobody but myself to get this. So they're like, well, I hope you fucking die. Well, good. Let me die. Let me have the choice to die. I hope you get COVID. Like I was like, me too. I'm ready. If I haven't already gotten it, I hope I get it because I want the antibodies. Because I'm not afraid of getting it. I'll go ahead and I'll send the antibody test over to you.
Okay, yeah. I forgot to take one. I should have just taken one up there. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's fine. It's just a finger prick. We bought so I bought a couple $1,000s worth. I just sent half of it to HQ. Kept about 70% to HQ. Kept some here, and so our thing with our company, like we take it seriously. Alan and I take it seriously. Not everyone in my company is a picture of health like we are. And even if they were, dude, if you have a sniffle, I want you to take this. Now, if you have a sniffle and you don't have a fever or anything, you come to work. That's fine. But if you have a sniffle, I want you to take this test because guess what? Chad's mom, who's in her 70s, works in the front. Chad's, and they all had the beer. And again, they're 70, 80 years old. They're a little bit overweight. They're in great shape for their age, but they're not like Jack fucking LaLanne. Like, okay, they got it. And I'm like, yes, that's fine. Right. But they can still get it. And that can still take them down. So if you're coming anywhere near the warehouse, I want you to take this home with you. And I want, or go to Walgreens. It's $23 for two. So it comes out to about $12 a piece, right? $23.99, $12 a piece. I want you to buy a testing kit. And even if you have the beer cure, even if you have gotten that shot, I want you to take it because you can still get it and give it. Oh, yeah. And I want you to take this. So I don't want you sick at work. And if you just have, I'm not telling somebody if you have a runny nose to take off of work, everybody needs to get paid. And I can't give you unlimited sick days. But you take the test because if you take the test and you're positive, you can have as many days off as you need to get over it.
That's actually the scary thing about the hangover cure is that, like, since it does mask symptoms, they could be symptomatic.
Scary.
And pass it on and not know it. Like that's why we're seeing all these breakthrough cases is because they can get it, not know it, and then pass it on. It's just logic. We just turned logic off in 2020.
My question is with Southwest Airlines, all these other guys, why can't they do what we have and just have these tests readily available? And then when they come to, and you know what, just the questionnaires don't work. Do you have any symptoms? No. Of course I'm going to say no. Watch them. You know, the manager on the floor should be able to tell if his people are running, are sick. You can tell. I've had enough warehouses in my life where I know. So why can't Southwest just be like the manager in charge, whether it's someone, whatever, be like, because these are HQ people and they're pilots and stuff. Like, what if they're like, hey, you don't look at here. It takes 15 minutes to get the results. Just go take a test.
Well, they took government bailout money. That's why. The government got them by the fucking nuts.
Airlines are not private enterprises anymore. Once you take bailouts, you are officially a government entity.
Yeah.
Dude, they never offered to bail me out when I had businesses fail.
It's kind of amazing how that works, isn't it? It's amazing how they'll bail out banking and they'll bail out transportation. They'll bail out services, like actual systemic population level services, but they won't bail out the actual business people. Like I presented this one thing when the Mexican flu first came out, right? Or the Mexican beer flu came out. Now Mexicans are about like, wow, we're being racist towards Mexicans. The Mexican beer flu came out. Anyway, but I was like, why don't, instead of $1,400, like, just getting, tax money given out to everybody from their own tax money that we borrowed in our fucking name. Everybody's like, they gave me money, motherfucker. They borrowed money in your name and gave it to you. Like, let's get there, right? Yes. Why don't we just buy the people that were scared better masks? Like, why don't we just send everybody that's terrified one of them fucking big ass dome mask respirator things? They're like $500 a piece. Send one to everybody that's fucking terrified. They can wear that shit around, and everybody else can just fucking go. Like, I mean, I didn't understand that. Like,
a bunch of N95s and a link to a YouTube video showing how to take care of it and use it.
Well, that's where it's been all bullshit. Like, watching people put these things on and off. The drive back down was kind of interesting because where we were at with you, obviously, it was very pre 2020. It really was. There's a few spots we stopped at in Georgia where it was like. It was pretty California, where it's like people are terrified, and I'm just like, watching these people that they wear the mask into the restaurant, which first of all, how terrified are you if you're at a fucking Texas Roadhouse? Like, I'm not buying it. Like, if you're at a Texas Roadhouse on a fucking Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm not buying it. You're terrified.
It's a virtue signal.
Yeah. So we're good until they sit down and then take the mask off. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you people? Like,
it's just a lack of critical thinking skills, or they're just tribalist, or they're afraid that people think they're a Republican. That's a thing. A lot of people are afraid to be. I'm not a Republican. I don't give a fuck what you think I am. But on that note, so we're at over the hour mark. So and I kind of have to poop. But anyway, yeah. So we have a lot going on, man. Anything you want to kind of add to the mix, Alan?
The only thing I wanted to talk about real quick was I hope Joe Rogan sues the fuck out of CNN.
God bless Joe Rogan. Even though he simped out and played at Madison Square Garden to vaccinated people, God bless him.
I hope he sues the fuck out of him. Watching him completely dismantle the doctor the other day was hilarious.
Destroyed him.
I normally don't sit through his entire podcast. I just watch the clips. Same. I watched that entire motherfucker. I probably will watch it again. He devastated that motherfucker.
I'm actually waiting till we have a drive for a soccer tournament next weekend. I'm going to listen to the whole thing. I've only listened to clips.
There's not at one point in time where like he stumped Rogan. Like, you could tell out of all the podcasts he's done, like, he was prepared and ready. When he was fucking pressuring him about like, well, you're the health guy over there. Why didn't you say something when they were lying? He got him to admit they were lying. He said that they shouldn't have said that. I mean, like, there's no way the doctor is in good standing with CNN right now. It was hilarious.
I mean, he shouldn't have taken the invite and then he had the nerve to write afterwards he was afraid Joe Rogan was going to beat him up. What a pussy.
First of all, if you're a real man, you wouldn't be like. First of all, Rogan would definitely kick my ass. Okay, let's be real. I've seen him kick a hole in a bag. He would definitely kick my ass. However, what real man is like, I'm sorry, if I get my ass kicked, I get my ass kicked. Look at my face. It's happened before. Okay. I've gotten my ass kicked plenty of times in my life before. It's like, it's happened. I'm just not afraid to take one. And anybody that's ever kicked my ass has only wanted to do it one time because they haven't, like, it's not like I just let them kick my ass.
No, you a couple licks. You just lost the overall.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's very clear. So
I wore a hat to cover it up, but yeah, we have a lot of cool things coming out. If you don't know where to fuss, so Alan, they can find you at MFCOO.
Yeah, the MFing COO on Instagram and Twitter, and I'm Alan Roberts on YouTube, and then Alan Roberts here at the GainzCast.
Yeah, I'm over here at Marc Lobliner and Tiger Fitness. So anyway, we started a new channel because this will probably get kicked off there anyway. But this is a positive podcast. We just want people to learn, and we want to have conversation. We'll have some cool guests on. We just have to kind of test the waters, get it out there, get people to actually watch it and know we're back. So by episode 3 or 4, there's a lot of cool people I want on. One is Malcolm Flex. Matt Stevens is always great to have on. Ron Coleman, who we were talking about. All these guys are great, and then we'll work our way up to the Jack Posobiec's and the Daver boys. I don't want to call in that favor until we get a little more listeners, but I think we'll give you a lot of stuff to think about, and that's where we're at. So anyway, Eric, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna show his comment last, and until next time, guys.
Thank you all.